Good evening and welcome to CUTV News Center for the week of March 29th. I'm Scott Majesky.
And I'm Joy LeViere. Campus was closed yesterday because of a power outage. According to university spokesperson Christine Kendall, the power outage was caused by an underground wire failure in a utility tunnel on campus. Power interruptions affected the campus throughout most of the day. Power was on for some buildings intermittently. However, most of the campus was dark for the majority of the day in order to make repairs. By Thursday evening, power had been fully restored. On Friday, there will be a scheduled power outage from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. in order to complete repairs on the electrical circuits. The following buildings will be affected: Hamer Hall, the heating plant, Helsel Hall, the new Science Building, Old Main, Pollock, South Hall, Vulcan Hall, and Watkins. It's advised that all computers and sensitive equipment should be turned off before 4 p.m. in those buildings to prevent damage. Spring break is usually marked by beach parties and rowdy behavior. However, MTV and United Way is looking to change all of that. Of all students from around the country, Cal U student and CUTV alum Lauren Tarosic was one of the 50 students chosen for a program called Spring Fix. Lauren joined us in the studio to talk about her experiences.
So MTV, MTVU, and United Way all partnered to do an alternative spring break in New York and New Jersey to continue the restoration of the shore area and the other areas that were devastated by Hurricane Sandy. So many people are still displaced from their homes and their life has sort of been uprooted and is continuing to be because they can't just put work and their children's schooling on hold to fix their houses. Our site was at Long Beach, and we worked all through the week to help a family rebuild their house. Them, like a lot of people in the area, have both a business and a home, and they have to make a decision which one to rebuild first. And that's a hard decision. If you have somewhere where you're able to stay, do you work on your home so that you can be in your home, or do you work on your business because it's your livelihood? It's a symbol of a lot of people in the area, and it was a really great way to get the word out, and hopefully people watching this will realize a little more, get it back in the media that it's still going on, people still need help.
What started as an application Lauren submitted on her smartphone turned out to be the trip of a lifetime.
It was an amazing experience. I met some wonderful people, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
If students want to learn more and see Lauren in action, they can visit mtvu.com in the coming weeks or contact their local chapter of United Way. Reporting for CUTV News Center, I'm Joy LeViere.
Technically, spring started this past weekend, but the recent weather has students thinking differently. While students and faculty are dealing with the snow and ice now, there may be more weather-related problems in the near future. CUTV's own reporter Allison Steinheiser has more about what could be in store for the coming months.
When students returned from spring break, they were met by snow and ice, not your typical spring weather. This had many students question, when is the warm weather going to come and the sun going to start to come out? Well, I spoke with a meteorology professor who has some of these answers and explains why the weather has been so cold this year.
Well, there's something we call the North Atlantic Oscillation, and that's a low pressure over Iceland and then a high pressure over the mid-Atlantic. And usually what happens is that those are spinning up pretty good, and there's a big pressure gradient out on the ocean. But right now there really is no pressure gradient. It's pretty much high pressure, and because of that, it is blocking any systems that would go out into the Atlantic. And so because of that, we are seeing these cold weather and low pressures stay here. They think it's going to last a couple more weeks. But right now, we have also something called the North Atlantic Oscillation Index, which is a measure of how much high pressure, how much low pressure there is. And right now it's really negative, which is explaining the cold temperatures, but it's swinging back towards positive, which could mean a lot warmer temperatures here, maybe in a couple weeks. In some places where there's a lot of snowpack, more than usual, if that melts off here when we get into April, that could cause some flooding, especially around on the mountains. But right now, there's no measures to that. We don't know yet.
To see when temperatures are going to start to rise and spring is finally going to be here, you can watch CUTV News Center each week and check out the weather report. For CUTV News Center, I'm Allison Steinheiser.
The Supreme Court has been afire with the question of marriage equality. Meanwhile, there's a newcomer here to Cal U. Lambda Bridges, an office that focuses on the education, advocacy, and empowerment of the LGBT community celebrated its start with a very special event this Monday. The event featured groundbreaking attorney Kate Kendall. Kendall, who is the executive director of the National Center for Lesbian Rights, talked about issues that are facing the LGBT today, including the highly contested Prop 8. Her speech covered how far we have come and just how far she believes our country has to go to achieve equality. The brand new Lambda Bridges is supporting all LGBT students and their allies in Carter Hall, room G15.
Facebook is in the news this week. To benefit its users, the long-awaited reply button will be added to the social network site, allowing Facebookers to reply to comments directly and not have the reply be at the bottom of the comments. This will benefit those pages with more than 1,000 friends and more than 1,000 comments to a status by highlighting the top comments having the most replies to that one comment. The button will start to filter around the Facebook world around July 10, 2013, and the option to turn the reply button off will be available in the early stages. Well, Facebook may also play a big part in the upcoming Pittsburgh mayoral election this fall, as Democratic candidate Jack Wagner is gaining support from the firefighter and police unions. The two groups combined, they form 1,400 members, announcing their endorsements outside of the city council building in downtown Pittsburgh. Darren Kelly, a trustee with the firefighters union, states the city needs that type of leadership. The two unions give Wagner an advantage, with every member being a city resident. And more are thought to be gained if Wagner wins the primary. He will be running against 5 other candidates for the Democratic primary, which will be held on May 21st.
You may have spotted a white truck parked beside Azorski Hall, and even if you haven't, we are all in for a treat. Food trucks are becoming all the rage in our area, and a food truck is being implemented right here in Cal U. Students will be able to use cash, meal, and dime dollars. The food truck will feature a wide range of products specializing in Caribbean fusion. More details will be given next week in a CUTV exclusive right here on News Center. So Scott, there's a lot of new things going on, a lot of activity here on campus. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, everyone got to relax yesterday with that power outage, so they got to take it all in, and if you were missed out on work, which I know I've been backed up on, you were able to have that happen. But I saw a lot of people going to that food truck, Joy. A lot of people were coming back with smiles after eating from there.
Absolutely. I mean, it was only their second day open, I believe, for business. So that's big pressure for the people working in the food truck. Big props to those people.
Yeah, I'm sure once the weather warms up too, there'll be a lot of people in line for that food truck.
Absolutely.
All right, well, when we return, Kat Leverfinger has your entertainment report. Stay tuned.